Hi, hello, how are you, Amanda, SEINT artist? I want to talk about textured mature skin. I've done some makeup on some women. I've gotten to play with mature textured skin. So while I am fully aware that I do not have mature textured skin, I do have some tips and tricks on how to work with it. And one of the biggest things is get yourself some balm. Aquaphor has a great affordable one that you could just get from the store. I like SEINT's because it clips right into your palette. I'm actually wondering if you could take an Aquaphor stick and stick it in an empty tin, because that would be pretty handy. So maybe try it. I don't know. But having a balm helps with that dry skin area. The other recommendation, get yourself a good setting spray that works with mature dry skin. If that's what you have, I would recommend the Fixate. It's very hydrating. I like it a lot. And I have been lately spraying my poofs with the setting spray, or a beauty blender will work, and getting that all over your skin, because you want something that's going to hydrate your skin. There's aloe vera in it. It's very good for your skin and hydrating. I'm oily. I use the Plush, but what you're going to do is you're going to spray your face and get it nice and prepped, and this is going to help hydrate your skin. You can spray it on your face, you can use a poof, do what's best for you. Or again, use a beauty blender, whatever you want. I recommend e.l.f. They have affordable beauty blenders. SEINT's is a little it's a lot overpriced. I think it's 4 times the price of an e.l.f. one. So what I'm going to say is go get yourself an e.l.f. beauty blender. Don't buy a SEINT one. It's not worth your money. They all work just as good. I actually think that Amazon has a multi-pack that's also very affordable. Okay, what we're going to do is we're going to skip brightening. We don't need it because it's lighter than our actual skin tone. It's going to accentuate the texture. And so what you're going to do is you're going to take your balm and you're going to go into some of your creasing areas. So going around your nose and tapping that in, grabbing it and tapping it under your eye. You want to get this up and under the eye. This is going to help with the texture of your under eyes, the crepiness, the puffiness. Everybody has a level of creasing down here, but it is a soft tissue and it can easily look creped. So using a brightening can do that. Our pores get bigger, fine lines, wrinkles. So tapping that between your brows can also be really helpful with reducing the texture of your makeup. All right, so we're gonna use our makeup. We're gonna have some fun. I like using a main highlight first. So I'm gonna tap into my main highlight first instead of my contour. Got a little itcheroo here. I'm just gonna use a nice dense brush. It all depends on the coverage you want. I like fuller coverage. I like the look of my makeup. You can use a blush and bronzer. This is a great brush, but I'm going to take this brush and I'm going to balance my skin down here. I do have my correctors on today. I am just getting started with my correctors on because not everybody needs to see it. And so I'm just taking that main highlight and I'm balancing my skin tone. And with mature skin, stippling is key. This is going to get it in with your skin. Sweeping and swiping it is going to push and pull and stretch your skin. It's going to make your pores appear they're larger. They're going to look larger, but going in and tapping over your pores, over your fine lines and wrinkles, just stippling that in. If you have a very textured chin, you're going to bring that down, but start up here. You're going to start up here and then bring it down. You want as little, if you have, wherever your high texture areas are, you want as very little. This is 80% pigmentation. And so you're going to tap this in. I like using a flat dense brush. This is the powder brush. I think it's a really good brush for mature skin. I think that the buff brush is a little too much for mature skin, and you can over apply and over texture. Too much makeup is going to accentuate texture. It's all about finding balance, and practice makes perfect. This is cream makeup, and we don't need to add a bunch of layers of makeup. We just need enough for balance. It's not about how much, it's about how well we apply it. And so pressing it out and bringing it over those areas. I go a little at a time, okay? It's a lot when we all do a little. There's a song about it, okay? So again, grabbing it, we're gonna balance over here, and I stipple, stipple, stipple this. Stipple, stipple, stipple this, okay? You don't want to sweep and swipe. It's going to make your skin stretch. It's like being told not to stretch your eye when you're doing your eyeliner when you were a teenager. Now we see why. Same thing with your skin. So stippling is key, going into the creasing areas last, not directly. Don't go from palette to crease. You want to stay on those outer areas where there's less texture and then work your way in and around, okay? But we're skipping brightening, so bring that all over your chin, all around your lips, all right? We're gonna go up We're going to grab this little pointy end right here. We're going to grab that main highlight. We are not using that brightening color. And that's where we're going to put it on exactly like I tell everybody. The last place you put the cream is on the texture. So you're going to look here and you're going to see this trough. You're going to start below the trough and then you're going to bring it up into that inner corner. And then you can bring it over, but this is with your main highlight. This is going to be the closest color to your actual skin tone. And it can give a brightening effect because you're canceling that darkness. And it's also because you're going outside of that texture and it is your main highlight. It's going to reduce the visibility of your texture. And you're just tapping this on that orbital bone into the inner corner. And then you can bring it up onto that soft tissue last with this little brush. Get you into those areas because you don't need to be as tidy as you do with a pointy brush because we're not using brightening. These all work together, okay? So we're going into that main highlight again, just tapping, 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 okay? So it's easy. You just tilt, you'll see your shadows. We all have them, okay? And then starting outside of that, bringing it up into that inner corner and then down and around on that orbital bone. And then bringing it up onto your soft tissue. I'm talking so much and I'm getting myself good and out of breath. But we're bringing that up and over and onto that soft tissue last. And it can give a really great brightening effect without a brightening shade because it's dewy because we're using creams and it's canceling that darkness really well. Not everybody needs under eye correcting. Again, this is super pigmented. And so you just need to put this on and over. All right, we're going to grab that main highlight again. And we're just going to focus this on this mid part of the brow. And then we're going to go over the brow. And we're just going to bring this up into the middle. This is another place where I tell you to add a brightening. But you just need to put your main highlight. It's going to cancel any discoloration, but it's not going to accentuate any of your fine lines. I don't do the injections. I'm aging gracefully, okay? As gracefully as I can. And with a little bit of complaining. Like, let's just sprinkle a little complaining onto our graceful aging. And I'm just going to press this up and out by pressing it in, okay? Again, stippling is key and bringing that up and over. We're going to switch to that flat end. I'm going to go into my contour. Everybody's contours are different. It just depends on your skin tone. But again, get a color match from me and let's play with this makeup. All right, we're putting it on. Don't do a lot. This is, again, very pigmented, okay? And you just stipple this around the edges of your head, forehead, head, and then you can bring it down towards that brightening highlight, but just keeping that shadowing on the outside. Your shadows are already there. Just follow it with this contour color. And this is also a good foundation color for you that works with your skin. So we're not layering a bunch of makeup on top of each other and creating more texture, accentuating. We all have texture. We just don't need to accentuate it. We can enhance our texture by using the flex of our skin with a cream makeup that will give us some luminosity. It'll put life back. It'll bring that youth that you thought you lost back in. And so it's just working with it. I promise you, finding a cream makeup that works with your changed skin, your textured skin, it makes worlds of difference in the outcome of your makeup and in the outcome of how you feel throughout the day. I'm going to stay with this pointy end. I'm going to go into my contour here, and I'm going to follow my natural brow shadow and go down my nose. Same thing here. Natural brow shadow down my nose. Then I'm going to square it off. Okay, we're just tapping this out. 80% pigmentation. Just like I say, when we're using a color that's too light, we're right now using a color that's too dark. I'm creating a shadow. This is a step that not everybody wants to take. Don't do it. Put the steps where you want them. And I'm just using this flat end to just buff it out. All right, I like to use my finger going into my main shade, just like I do with my brightening, and I'm bringing that straight down. Okay, it creates contrast with that darker contour. It does the same thing my brightening does. It's just not super punchy, so it's not going to accentuate any nose texture that I have. All right, staying on that flat end, we're going to go back in, and I want you to go higher than you're comfortable with. We have our natural shadow. I want you to put this on like a blush. Okay, put this on like a blush. We have volume that's been lost through time, and just putting it on like a blush, keeping it on the outer corner out as an upper blush it's going to make a huge difference in the outcome of your makeup. We'll be adding some pinky to it, and understanding the tones of your skin, the discoloration that you may have, is going to play a big part in the outcome of your makeup, because we don't need to look like a clown. So again, putting this on like a blush is really simple, okay? Super simple, super, super, super simple. Okay, there we go. I got my contour on. I'm gonna grab a little more, and we're just gonna go right here in front of the ear, and then we can tap this down and bring it down our neck. Our neck is always gonna be a different color than our face, and so I just use my shadow to bring it down. Right here, hide that little jowly chin. But we lose volume, and so if we go right into the crook of our shadow that's naturally there, it's gonna pull our face down. So we put it on like a blush, and it's gonna bring it back up. Okay, I get discoloration on my cheeks, so I'm gonna take Frenchie. I don't believe Frenchie is a standalone color. It's an accent color for your cheeks, so I'm gonna grab a little bit of Frenchie. I think Frenchie is a great color for maturing skin because we lose the volume in the apples as we've gotten older. And so we're able to kind of accentuate the fact that we could have an apple, but without it looking out of place. And then I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna use the color Madrid. I like colors that work with a skin tone that needs some correcting, like hyperpigmentation. If you go too bold, it can accentuate things. I don't add shimmers to maturing skin because the flecks of our skin already add a pretty dewiness. And I'm gonna put this up at the top. It's a bit pink and a bit punchier than Frenchie, and it works really well with Frenchie, but keeping that bolder blush at the top part of your cheek is gonna help add lift and youth to your skin that you thought wasn't there. And I think Madrid is a really good option when you're learning to play with this. And it just goes right over that contour that we laid down. And it's gonna help with the longevity, okay? And then you can go in and we can take any one of these colors that we've put on and we can use them on our lips. I like taking, let's see, let's grab, I got one here. We're gonna take this, I'm gonna clean it up really quick. We're gonna take a multitasker brush. I'm gonna go into my cedar and I'm just gonna add a little bit of liner. I like it because it's dense and it creates a barrier to lines around the mouth. The straw lines, the shh lines, from whenever anybody comes over and they're just so loud, shh lines, okay? And then we're gonna line down here, and this is gonna help from bleeding if you use a chapstick, a gloss, a balm, a lipstick that's super creamy. Sometimes it can run into it. Then I'm gonna grab that Madrid color and I'm gonna fill my lips in with it. It's a very pretty pinky peach color, very natural. We don't wanna go crazy, but that's it. And so using your makeup, grabbing that, I recommend if you have dry skin, the Fixate. It's hydrating, it's nice. If you have more oily skin or combination skin, the Plush and Prep. Very good, you can set with it. You're gonna take that brush that you applied the makeup with, you're gonna press in that setting spray. You want it to get pressed in and do everything you want it to do. Okay, you want it hydrating, you want it setting your makeup, and then you can go about your day. But if you have texture on your skin, do not brighten. It's going to accentuate all of those fine lines and wrinkles and pores and the things that you're trying to hide. The brightening is going to pull it out. So skip it. Don't do it. Just use your main highlight. And that's it. You don't need to set your makeup with any powder. That's going to accentuate things more. So just use your setting spray and press it in, and that's it. Try them. Here's some pictures of some beautiful mature women wearing SEINT makeup, and have a great day.